Hello everyone, Ruby Retrograde Tahoe and Tay here, and what I'll be doing today is a VR, a video response that I saw actually yesterday, yesterday being the 17th of March. That is St. Patty's Day Tarot tag. So this was put together by, let me remember the names. It was put together by Cosmic Lunar Tarot and A Life Full of Simplicity. But which is what is kind of funny is that I saw other people's VR before I actually ended up watching theirs. But anyways, all in all, it's just a VR tag that they came up with, and I thought that it would be fun to do and try it out for myself. So if you want to watch their VR, I'll put it up in the description box, and as well as a couple of other ones that I saw that I thought was interesting. So let's start this off. It's 7 questions. So we'll start with question number 1, which is End of the Rainbow. What deck did you have a hard time finding / tracking down? Okay, so the only deck that I believe would fit this question the best would be this deck, the Dreamweaver Tarot. It is yes, it was quite the exercise to find it. Well, actually, no, I could I no, I no no, it was hard to find, and but then to go through buying it, that was a little bit easy. This is now an out of print deck, and it kind of goes to the another question later on, but um this was created by Jackie Ryan and Leah Shoman, and this was a Kickstarter in 2019, if I'm not mistaken. And since then, it has been out of print, but also reworked into another, well, actually, 2 other decks. To be technically correct. So I received this actually maybe a couple weeks ago. I just haven't gone around to making an unboxing of it. What I'm actually going to do is doing a side by side between this one and its other iterations, I guess we could call it, because this is pretty much what happened to this deck. But this was one deck that definitely was hard to find. For some reason, I could see the Kickstarter campaign of it, and walkthroughs that other people did, but finding someone that was selling it was the hardest thing, until it kind of really, by pure luck, I happened to stumble into someone that was selling this and a bunch of other decks too. So pretty happy that I got to get this one. So to question number 2, which is Pot of Gold. When you found that deck, was it worth the quest? I guess it was worth the quest in the sense that I paid relatively not too much. It was still kind of a bit. I haven't used it yet. Because like I said, I got it a couple of weeks ago, and I've been busy. There's other decks that I'm working with, and I kind of want to do a compare with its other, I don't know what to call it, its descendants, I guess we can call it. And if yes, so I'll probably post that video of a kind of compare between the other two. Well, yeah, the other 2 decks that follows this one, and hopefully I'll schedule a time to start working with it, and so I can actually say truthfully whether it was worth the half a headache it took me to track down A, this deck, and B, someone that was possibly selling it. So that is for question 1 and 2. Now, question 3. What's your favorite snack when doing readings? When I do readings, I don't normally eat, simply because well, just depending, if I feel like snacking, most of the time it might be something like chips or crackers, and I don't necessarily want to have crumbs on my hands when I'm shuffling cards and things like that. Maybe I might have like a hard candy or like a lollipop or something, um or like, something like a dry type of candy, like, or something like you kind of put it, you take off the wrapper and you put it in your mouth and you don't have to play with it that much. So like a hard candy or a lollipop, something like that. Otherwise, most of the time I might be drinking something. So it might be water or it might be tea. So I would say a drink maybe 2/3 of the time, or maybe half the time. Let's be fair, half the time. And then the other half of the time, it's just if I, especially if I do it, if I pull cards first thing in the morning, I don't have a drink on hand. I kind of wake up half groggy and then pull cards, so I won't be drinking anything. But I'll guess I can show some of my favorite teas in the moments. Some that I really enjoy. For example, I really enjoy chai tea, especially by Twinings or Twinings. I think I heard someone somewhere call it as Twinings at one point, but someone, you can feel free to let me know which is the correct pronunciation. I really like this blend of chai tea. I've tried a few others, but to me this was the best, especially with some milk and a little bit of either honey or sugar. Quite tasty. I also like spice apple herbal tea. Also, it could also, if it also apple cider works well, but this particular one, very enjoyable. It makes me feel all warm and cozy. And then maybe one of my favorites, one of my favorites, is not, if not the favorite, I will say the favorite would be rooibos. And then somewhere right under there, kind of finding each other, will be any like versions of rooibos. So for example, the cinnamon chai rooibos, this is so delicious. I don't even need to put milk in there. I think it does. I think even in the box it says not, well, it doesn't recommend milk on the cover there, but I think this is so good. And then after that, the vanilla rooibos is pretty good. Maple rooibos also is good. All in all, rooibos delicious. Also with milk and sugar if it's plain rooibos, or plain. But anyways, so these definitely are one of the three that are more likely to be in my cup. I do sometimes do other things. Like for example, this morning I did ginger lemon, just because to have a little bit extra ginger and lemon. I don't know. I kind of want to feel a little extra cozy, a little extra warmth. So, but definitely these are my favorites, and most likely that I will go and buy once they ran out. That and rooibos, but because this one is what I have right now, and I'm trying not to just go through it in a whole day. But in any case, so these are my favorites. So that is my snack. Well, it's not really snack, but drink of choice if I do feel thirsty before or during a reading. Now, question 4, the Leprechaun. The question is, do you own a rare / out of print deck? If not, which one would you get if you could? I went through my libraries, my collections, my families of decks, and it turns out that I do have a good handful. I had more than I thought, actually. I thought I had maybe 3 or 4, and I actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait, am I counting right? 3, 6, 8. Okay, I can count. Oh wait, 9. Yes, 9. So what I'll do, I'll just kind of show them to you. I won't necessarily open and show all the cards because, like I said, I have 9 decks. The first one, like I mentioned, this was back to question 1, Dreamweaver. It's apparently, I guess I could put it both as rare and out of print, just because how long it took me to find a copy. And then speaking of which, when I was talking about, sorry, I have to kind of go to my other side to get all the deck that I piled on. When I was talking about the Dreamweaver Tarot kind of being out of print and having 2 other iterations, so this is the second iteration of Dreamweaver Tarot, the North Tarot. So this might be one that more people might be aware of, which is also still created by wait, why am I lost for like a second here? Oh, that's because it's by Sacred Publishing, but it's still made by created by let me remember the name, Jackie Ryan and Leah Shoman. And then the third iteration, I don't have it yet, but it is available. The third iteration is Wildlands. So these three are kind of family. That's why I called descendants, anything like that. But anyways, so this is one of them. On top of the Dreamweaver tarot, I'll just kind of leave that here. And then after that, there is La Flora Tarot that ended up being out of print last year, if I'm not mistaken, because I got, yeah, because I think I got this somewhere late spring or maybe early summer. It was right before I ended up moving, and I got this, and then it ended up being out of print because I wanted to get the guidebook and was not able to. Then after that, I have the Tarot de Marseille by Polka. If it's not out of print, it's a bug to find it and get one for myself. How I ended up with this copy, I pretty much ended up tracking it down on a Japanese website and get it sent to me from Japan. That's a whole story, and I have a video of all the decks that I got from Japan. Way, like a 1 year or 2 year old video back in my video list. Then after that, what else is out of, well, I don't know if I would call it rare, but it is out of print. The Tarot, the Ellis deck, the 5th edition. I'm not too sure which printing it is. I just know it's the 5th printing, or the 5th edition, sorry. This one is out of print. I couldn't see place, well, I from my quick search, I couldn't see if it was going to be reprinted at some point. Following that, I guess it's I kind of call it an obvious. The Stunning Tarot by Jonas Yaus, the 4th edition, medium. This is half ridiculous because the moment this, like, one of her decks is either on pre-order for reprint or a new tarot, you already know it's gonna be out of print real quick and a bug to find also if you have the unfortunate luck to have missed one of her pre-orders. So that's another one. Then after that, there is the Spirit Keepers Tarot Revelation Edition. That is right before the other printing that she did. So this is right before that one. I believe that one is out of print. So there's that. And then I have this one here. This was a Kickstarter. It's called the Rare and Magnificent Creatures Tarot. This was created by, oh, this is so small. Rare Creatures Co. This, I believe the creator was from Australia. I don't believe there are copies available anymore of this to buy. And then finally, wait, is this 9? Yes, this is 9 because 5, 3, okay. And then the last one is the Majestic Earth Tarot. I got one of the less than perfect 2nd grade decks. Doesn't matter. If you to look at the cards, it doesn't even look like anything's amiss. So those are my rare and out of print decks. I didn't think I had that many, but when I started kind of doing a quick search, it turns out that a lot more of decks got out of print or things like that. And I guess I could also have added to this the not Dark Woods, what is it called? Dark Forest? But I didn't add this one because it came back on Kickstarter last year. I think it's called Dark Forest, but it's the 3rd, I guess technically it's the 3rd edition. I have the 2nd edition, so I guess technically I could say it's out of print. The 2nd edition's out of print. I could have also added Dream Visions, the 1st edition, because the particular font on the cards is not the same as the current edition of Dream Vision, but technicalities, so I didn't include those. So that's what I have for the Leprechaun questions. So these are my, so far, I might have missed some for my collection, my rare and out of print decks. So let me just put those in the spot here. Now, the next question is for Leaf Clover. A deck you thought would be just another deck, but turned out to be something great. Sorry, I'm reading the question from my phone there, so that's why. So for this question, the 4-leaf clover, I almost want to put 2 decks, but I don't know. I still don't know because two could fit there, and then one of those would fit the other question. So I think what I'll do is that I'll just uh move the second deck to the next question about the celebration. So question 6, and then for question 5s, I'll actually just take the Fortuna Tarot, which of course it's not next to me. So just 1 second. Let me just go grab it. Okay. Good thing it was right there by my night table. So this is a deck that I could say I thought was just another deck because I have the Amethyst edition, which is the purple, and I also have the obsidian edition, which is black. I haven't used obsidian yet, and I will do a walkthrough just because I can't wait to work with this one. Again, it needs to be scheduled. Anyways, why I thought this was just another deck is that I don't know. I don't know if it's because it's my general attitude with more minimal, I don't know what to call it, line work. It's not necessarily line work. It's kind of like when it's just very simple art illustrations. Sometimes I kind of just sometimes I tend to fall back a bit more on what my brain remembers about the card. But recently I was using this deck for the last couple weeks maybe, and I don't know, for some reason it just wasn't like the other reading where it's sometimes either you're tired or you're looking at the art and you're like, oh, I don't feel like reading the art. I'm just gonna okay, what's the general meaning of this card? Okay, let me just go and do this and then go about my day. I don't know. I don't know exactly how to explain my brain, but sometimes it kind of does that. But for some reason, for that maybe almost 3 weeks that I was using it, there was some sort of connection. I'm not sure how to explain it other than it seemed that it was different than the other times. And I don't know, at one point I ended up having the same card, I think like maybe 2-3 times on a maybe 5 to 7 day period. And then a few days after that, when something happened and I was thinking, and my brain was kind of just wandering along, I just kind of got walloped back to the cards that I got from this deck, and I was like, oh, I see now. I see what it is. All right, I get it. You told me what it was, and it was quite blunt, and it ended up being as blunt as you told me it was. Okay, I see how it is. All right, I'm gonna be careful with you, and I'm gonna keep one eye on you. Not in a bad way, but it was something like that. But I've enjoyed this more. Maybe I don't know if I would get the same feel, or the same feel, the same vibe from the other colors edition. I would have to try and see, but this is my just another deck that was actually more. That's my answer for this one. And I could also have put the Shimmering Veil Tarot. I did not because I'm slowly starting to work with it. Just very little, a couple cards a week. That kind of just sit there and I look at it and think about it, and so that it can kind of like engrave itself in my brain for the week or however long I feel like these cards need to be like out there for my eyes to look at. So runner up would be Shimmering Veil, and then Fortuna Tarot for the 4-leaf clover. Alrighty. Now for the Irish whiskey, a deck that's always a party or a celebration. I don't know why it took me so long to think of that deck, but when I looked at it, I was like, of course this one. It's a hoot. And it's called the the Brutally Honest Call Me Out Oracle. This was a Kickstarter, maybe not last year, 2 years ago, I want to say. I forgot who created. I should have checked on. And the worst part is I I was on their website to see if it was still in print because I wasn't sure. It is in print, and actually currently it's on sale. So I'll leave the links and stuff. But basically, as it says, this Call Me Out Oracle, the name says it all. It is blunt. It is rude. You kind of like want to mentally slap it around sometimes for the cards it throws out. I say that because there was once I used this card on a group I was in, and I was kind of pulling cards for them online. And sometimes I would pull cards and they're like, whoa, wait a minute. Like, you didn't have to say it that way. And they would see the card. I'm like, I'm not, it's not me. It's the card. Like, I'm showing you, like, let me send you a picture. Like, oh man, that, like, this deck is blunt and cold, I think. And so it's just it's a party. It's funny. Definitely, if you don't want F-bombs and things like that, it probably won't be for you. The one thing I kind of like a little bit less is, yes, it's big fonts, but for drinking, sometimes it breaks apart, and I don't know, I like it a bit less. But basically, you have a general topic. Well, let's call it topic. And then at the back, well, here's a good example. So here let's say you pull sleeping, and then like basically you look like crap, take the nap right here and right now. It does not cut. It does not like sweeten nothing. It does not like send anything down. It's here you are. And even as I was looking at the cards and shuffling, it like threw like just how rude and blunt, and you will hear what I have to tell you. This deck is, it like spit out 2 cards at me, and essentially the gist of the 2 cards was like, put a spine on you and stop like moping type of thing. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, can you say hello? It's been a while since I've shuffled you. Like, can we be nice? Jeez. Ugh. But this is definitely a party. This would definitely be the type of deck that if I was around people that are into this sort of thing, and I don't know, there was a party or something like that, I will pull that out, and this will read you to filth. This is the type of card that will read you to filth. If you're not ready to hear it, don't even like ask nothing. Don't ask nothing. Truly, like, even I think one of them was hating or something. Or something. Like, it's the type of thing for hating. Aren't you tired? Like, so this is definitely a deck that's a hoot, that's a party, and then you have this extra card where you can write your magic. So definitely, if there's any sort of celebration, I almost wish I could have an occasion to pull that out and just it's the type of deck where, like, if you're in a certain mood, you're like, you know what, somebody needs to know something. You would just pull that out and be like, you know what, you asked me for advice, and I told you from my mouth the advice. You don't want to listen to me. Now you're asking for the cards advice. Well, let the cards tell you, and maybe you will listen this time. Anyway, so that is the party deck, and it's always fun when I should try to see if I could match this oracle with one of my tarot cards, but I don't know, every time it seems like it's kind of a lone thing. It's kind of like smack you in the face, and you will not try to cover what I'm saying with anything else. Maybe I'll try with a tarot deck. I don't know which one I will try with. But anyways, this is definitely that Irish whiskey. Like, burns on the way down, but ooh, so good. So that is that. And then finally, question 7. Rich heritage. What deck in your collection has so much depth to it, whether with the art guidebook or the readings? Well, that is one deck, again, that I got, I want to say recently, because it was within, well, we're kind of halfway through March. So we're going to say within the last 2 months, because I think if it wasn't the beginning of February, it was the end of January, somewhere like that. And so I have not yet cracked it open. Story of my life and busyness and all the nonsense that's been going on. But what I believe it is Tazama African Tarot. And the reason why I got it, first off, this deck, well, I'll probably talk about it a bit more, but I've been looking at it for a while. And once in a while, I would kind of whatever I could pick up from either their newsletter or I think social media. I forgot where I read it, but there was somewhere that was related to them where I read something about how the deck was made. And one particular thing I had seen was they were highlighting one of their cards in this deck, and they were kind of explaining, okay, well, this person on the deck is actually so and so, such a historical figure, comes from this point, like this part of Africa, and then this is what this and this and this happened. And I thought this was really cool. And up until recently, it kind of stayed on my to buy list because I got suckered in by the gold. Like, that's almost, of course, a given, but also the image. And it stayed on my to buy list for a while because I'm not the greatest fan of collage decks. There's a lot of decks that at first I'm like, oh, this looks good, but there's something about collage deck. It doesn't catch me. I don't know why. I've tried. But this was the closest, and so it stayed there. And then later on, I want to say even a year later, when I read that little tidbit about the card and what it is, I was like, oh my gosh, this is really cool. Okay, this is the best out of the collage deck for you that you will go and get. So go and get it and then crack it up. I was hoping to try and do it during February because shoe-in for Black History Month. Did not do that. Life and nonsense happened. But in any case, doesn't mean that I can't use it any other time of the year. So yeah, that is the one that I believe has a lot of depth to it. And I think one of the first thing I'll do once I open this, let me not destroy everything in this area. Anyways, one of the first thing that I'll do, I'm very sure, like 97%, is get to the guidebook and see if there's anything more about it. And if not, take a look at their website and the little access that I have to social media, because I don't have Instagram. So what you can see on Instagram is very limited. Anyways, that is Tazama African Tarot. What was the name of that question? Rich Heritage. All right. And so here we have it. With that, it is done. Oh, and plus I didn't even show I was wearing green for St. Patrick's Day, even though we're currently the 18th. So here I am. Oh, and I have a little bit of green. There you go. So there you go. This is my VR to the St. Patty's Day tag. I hope I can see more of you guys' VR in the following days. Let me know if you enjoyed my tags. Any comments or questions, put it down in the comments below down there. Boop, boop. And thanks for spending some time with me and doing this fun VR. I enjoyed it. I should try and find more VRs to respond to, because yeah, there's lots of them out there that I find interesting, and then I don't know, something stops me from trying to do my responses to it. Anyways, thanks for watching, and until next time, bye bye.